Hello, friends, and welcome to the Friendors podcast, a podcast by wedding vendors for wedding vendors. I'm your host, Shawn Miller, professional wedding officiant and founder and owner of Young, Hip, and Married. Each week, I sit down with our friends from the wedding industry and talk about the life of a wedding vendor, from how they got started, mistakes they've made along the way, to everything they've learned from being a vendor, as well as a few chaotic stories. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to Friendors, and let's dive into the episode.
Cheers, babe.
It feels so official.
Here we are. Officially.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Because when was the first time that we talked about doing a podcast? Like 15 years ago?
Maybe more than 15.
We started Young, Hip, and Married in September of 2010.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it then, or shortly after.
Oh, not before?
Maybe
Maybe a little bit before.
podcasting wasn't really even like much of a thing.
No,
It wasn't much of a thing. I got introduced to it from working at the post office.
Yeah, and I didn't listen to podcasts at that time.
No, not many people did. And I think you could only get them on iTunes at the time.
I have no idea.
I would download them. I didn't even have an iPhone. Like I would download the podcasts onto my iPod.
Yeah, your tiny little iPod.
Isn't that funny? Only took 15 years.
Here we are.
15, better late than never, I suppose.
Right?
Yeah. It feels a little surreal.
Yeah, and we did this fast compared to like
Fast but slow.
very slowly, but then put it together.
Once we decided, it was like, okay,
Let's just do it.
let's just do this, right? Yeah. I think, how many times have we recorded something and not done anything with it?
Oh,
Half a dozen?
yeah. And I remember we did a really awesome one back probably in 2018. I think our microphones were the wrong way. We thought we recorded with the microphones the wrong way,
The audio was garbage.
and then you lost it. Like it disappeared. Something happened, and it
Yeah.
was gone.
Yeah, it
And
was
then trying to do it again, we were like, oh, but that was the really good one.
It's so funny, like the things sometimes that you just ignore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, we're here.
We did it.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Guest number 1.
That's me.
Seems only fitting to have you on.
Thanks, babe.
How many years have you been shooting? When did you start? Like officially? Like when did you get that first? You got an SLR. It wasn't even DSLR.
Oh, yeah, no. I had the Digital Rebel. Oh, no. That was my first digital camera. Excuse
Yeah.
me. I had the Rebel first and foremost, I think. I don't even remember.
You were shooting film.
I was shooting film. My very first camera was a hot pink rectangular camera with a strap.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
from the 80s.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I remember those cameras. People would have them.
Oh, yes. And I took it everywhere.
Looked like an ice cream sandwich. Same shape as an ice cream sandwich.
Yes.
Right?
Hot pink.
Yeah.
And the wrist strap was perfect. I would just like walk around.
Yeah.
So I had that when I was in grade 4. So how old are you in grade 4? I don't know. What?
Well, how old's Wella?
10. So 9.
9.
8, 9.
Eight or
8,
nine.
9. Then I went to a Nikon camera when I was a teenager. I think I got that when I was like 16.
Did Larry buy that for you? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My stepdad.
Stepdad.
And I don't even want to know how much money I spent on film.
Yeah, he had an account.
They had an account, and I would just go to the camera shop and just buy
I remember when we
film.
first started dating and we were taking pictures and you're like, oh, I'll get them developed. And I was like, oh, okay. And you just kept getting the film developed. And I was like, and you're like, no, I would wanted to pay you for it. Like, no, it's just on the account. I'm like, what do you mean it's on the account?
I just signed off on it.
So Erica's from a small town and she had like in the small town, there's a film, like a,
Yeah, one.
what was it called? Cavalcade? Was it called Cavalcade? Photo?
Maybe.
I think it was called
can't
Cavalcade. I think it was called Cavalcade Photo and Imaging or something.
Probably. probably still have like the name on
Some of the, if you can
like,
find the negatives.
yeah, the envelope. that it would come in.
Yeah, and you would just charge it to the business account.
Yep.
Sorry, Larry.
And I always got doubles because I would give all the photos to people that I took photos of. And then I think I got my first SLR, when I was... Were we
It was
dating?
after we were married.
Was it after we were married or when we were dating?
No, it was after we were married because I remember we went down to Henry's in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry's has been around a long time too.
Yeah.
Because that would have been 2004, 2005.
No, are you sure it was that? I know I was at camp with the SLR. We were working at camp.
So maybe it was 2004, 2003.
2003, maybe, like the summer.
Right.
I think you took me to Henry's. You were like, hey, I found this place.
Yeah, on Queen Street.
Yeah.
Queen or King?
No, I think we went to like the Mississauga one.
Oh, I see. We remember this differently.
Yeah. I think we went to the one on Queen to get the digital camera, and I traded in my SLR, and I think I got $150 for my film camera.
Wow.
To go towards the digital, and I think the digital was like $550.
Imagine the barrier to entry with photography if you had to shoot film.
Oh my word. Like when I would shoot, I would literally, I had a booklet, and I would write down what my settings were for every single picture. Yeah, so that I could, when I printed them, go back and be like, okay, my settings for this photo was here. Okay,
and there was no digital editing.
No, you just got it printed. And
that was it.
That was it. Like I remember, do you remember Friends getting their wedding album? And they would have like hundreds of photos in this wedding. And to go through.
And try and pick their favorites.
Yeah.
Man, technology's changed so much.
Yeah, it really has.
Okay, so where do we want to go with this? We can, we're going to talk about the wedding business a little bit, but maybe we should talk a little bit about how we got started.
Yeah. And I mean,
in the industry.
Yep.
How far back do we go? Well, let's go start from the camera because Eric and I, we met in 03.
Yep, January of 03.
And we were married in October of 04.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
Yeah. And primarily we did long distance dating. Except for
many months of long distance dating.
Lots of long distance dating.
Yeah. 20 years we've been together.
20 years married.
20 and a half, I guess now.
20 and a half married and 22 years together. 22 and a bit years together. Because it's 2025 now. We got together in January of 03. So yeah.
Long time.
Long time. Definitely over half my life.
Yeah, that's reaching the half-life in your marriage.
Yeah.
Knowing you for over half my life.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny having kids of our own, thinking about them meeting someone at 20 and getting married at 22.
Yeah.
It seems terrifying.
Yeah.
I wasn't terrified when we got married.
No, I felt like a grown adult at that time. And then like I knew what I was doing and no one could tell me anything different.
We have to remember that. We have to remember that feeling when we get older. Or when our kids get older.
Well, we almost have a 17-year-old. Like that's like him meeting someone in 3 years and getting married
in 5 years.
Like a year and a half later. Or a year and whatever. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how we got started in the industry. I think it would be helpful for other people. You were shooting part-time, right? Photography is always a passion.
It was always a passion, and I really started pursuing photography as a career when we first got married.
Right.
I didn't have a job. I had just graduated university with a psychology and music degree.
Yeah.
And
great degree for getting a job.
Great. Yeah, totally. And so I had no idea what to do. And so I nannied.
Yeah.
the beaches in Toronto, and nannying. I nannied for 2 kids, or 2 different families full time. And so I used to take pictures of their kids. That was when I really started.
I remember that.
I had so much time on my hands.
Charlie was one of them.
Charlie and Zach.
And Zach.
And then I can't remember the other 2 names.
I remember the father's name was Dirk.
Yep. I can't.
Christine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Isn't
then,
that funny?
Yeah.
The things you remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and we were living in Toronto.
Yep.
I was working at the post office.
Yep.
Delivering mail in Toronto. You were nannying, taking photos part-time.
Yep.
Life goes on, and I start to pursue a career in professional coaching
Yes.
in 2007.
Yeah, but we moved from Ontario to BC.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
And you were continuing to dabble in photography.
Oh, absolutely. And I was just meeting people out here because I knew no one.
Right.
And actually a couple people, but that's it. And then I would just offer to take photos for free.
Right.
Just to get out and do something.
Right. And to get the experience.
Yeah. And so when
digital photography was just taking off.
Yeah.
Right. I remember when you could get your first digital SLR, like that was a big deal. And it was like 7 megapixels, 8 megapixels.
Oh, I think it was 6.3 or something like that. It was small.
Yeah. Yeah. Worse than the worst iPhone is today.
And so, yeah, I would just do things. I remember friends were getting pregnant and I'd be like, hey, I'll do your photos. And so I just started doing it like that.
Yeah.
And having fun and doing things I didn't do it in a studio. Like I just wanted to.
No, you were much more on the artistic side, having fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like just helping people relax.
Yeah.
And get the pictures.
Yeah.
That way. Mm-hmm. And so you and I went down to California in 2007 to study NLP, which is like piggybacking on your psychology degree a bit. And then that was my real introduction into the coaching world.
Mm-hmm. And it was something we wanted to do together. Like we really wanted to experience.
Young, married, double income, no kids.
Yeah.
We were either going to go backpack across Europe.
That's the original plan. We were
for the summer. We were going to go 2 months to backpack across Europe, or we were going to go down to California and take this course.
Yeah.
And we went to California.
Yeah.
Any regrets on that?
No, I loved it.
Yeah, sometimes I wish we did more traveling before we had kids.
Well, we didn't plan on having kids then, but.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we thought we had more time. So we were like, oh, well, next summer we
What does Bob Ross say? Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. So yeah, we were down in California, and that's when we met some of them. I don't regret that experience at all.
And like, do you remember, like we got our place on Craigslist. We rented that house off of Craigslist.
It seems so crazy. It was before Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found it on Craigslist, and I think I sent him I wire transferred him $800 US as a deposit. And being like, I remember driving out and I'm like, what if this house doesn't exist?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's crazy actually.
Yeah.
That was a great house though.
It was awesome.
It kind of became the hangout
It
that
definitely
summer.
did.
Living in Santa Cruz for that month.
Well, you were there for 5 weeks, right?
No, I was there for 2 months.
Oh, you were there for 2 months. That's right. I was there for 5 weeks.
Yeah. Or we had the place for 4 weeks because the program was 3.
Oh, and then we traveled.
And then we stayed an extra week, and then we traveled for an extra week, and then I went and did 3 more weeks of school.
Yeah.
That summer.
That's right.
So yeah, the original, I never planned to get into weddings. Like it was never anything on my radar.
Yeah, I think I did a little bit, but not.
Well, photography you never really, didn't seem like it ever wanted to be a career for you until we realized how much childcare was.
Oh my word. Yes.
Right? Because, so we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So that was 2007, we did the schooling. Mm-hmm. 2008, our eldest, Zion, is born in July. Mm-hmm. You go on maternity leave.
Yep. And
then that September, I start my coach's training with CTI. Mm-hmm. And then I do a year's worth of coaches training, a year and a half worth of coaches training.
Yeah.
All the way up until the fall of 2009 is when I finished my leadership program.
Right. And you quit the post office?
Not till 2010.
When Vanden was born?
I think so. Or no.
No, you quit when it was just Zion.
No, I quit the post office early in 2000, January 2009.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dumb move. I don't regret it now.
You took the Band-Aid off on that one. You were just like, yes.
So I wanted to pursue a career in professional coaching, and I was working delivering mail for Canada Post. And I was like, couldn't really make a go of the coaching business. Like I was finding it hard to get clients and make money. And I was like, I remember listening to a Tony Robbins, not podcast, audiobook, probably at the time. It was like, burn the boats. And I was like, oh, I should just quit my job. And then I have to make the business work. Like as a young father, I don't know what I was thinking. It was very stupid in hindsight. It's worked out in the end, but I would make a different decision, or I would advise against making that type of rash decision today.
Yeah, because had I quit at the school district when
no, you didn't quit at the school district until the fall, till September of 2009, because that's when you were supposed to go back.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when you were supposed to go back.
And so I quit after you, or did?
No, it's so funny.
Fuzzy.
It's the fuzzy. I'd have to go back through my journals and find out.
You would have it documented for sure.
Yeah, I would have it documented in my journal somewhere. It would actually be good to do a timeline.
I think you did it in September. I think, well, I don't know.
Maybe
it's
the fall. Yeah.
Maybe the fall sometime.
We'll have to figure that out.
Because the fall always felt like a new year to us.
Right.
January never did. So like New Year, September, I think you just did it.
Just went for it.
Just went for it.
And we did go travel across Europe for 10 days that fall.
Yeah.
When you were pregnant with Vanden,
Yeah.
our second baby.
Yeah.
Right. We're like, okay, we're going to go now. It was our 5-year wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Right. 2009.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. It felt like such a long time.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So I'm pursuing coaching. You quit the school district. You were working at the school district.
Yep.
Doing professional development.
Yep.
Pro D days for teachers.
Yeah. Event planner for the school district. For teachers. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I shot my first wedding.
That's right. You shot Ryan and Mel's wedding.
Yep.
While breastfeeding.
6 weeks after giving birth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, so that was 2008.
That was 2008.
Okay.
I shot my very first wedding.
That's right.
Yeah. And that was an experience. I would never do it that way again.
Right. Seems to be a theme here.
I thought, new mom I signed up for it before even becoming a mom. But in my head, I was like, I got this. Like, I'm going to have a baby. You can recover quickly.
Yeah.
I will get him on a bottle. Like, I'll be exclusively nursing.
Who had him that day?
Tamara.
Oh, right.
Tamara, yeah.
Yeah.
And Terry, they kind of looked out, but primarily Tamara.
Yeah, and we had him I remember he was in a sling on the dance floor. I think Scott Inman had him on for a
I think
while.
he got passed around to a lot of people, but I did not know. I was not thinking clearly. Like I didn't plan for breastfeeding breaks. Like I didn't plan any of that. I was like, okay, he's got a bottle. He'll be good. I'll shoot this much of the wedding, and then at the reception, I'll take him and I'll nurse him.
Yeah.
And I'll take a break during dinner.
Right.
And I didn't have a second photographer. It was purely me. And I was like,
and I was the best man at the wedding.
You were the best man at the wedding.
So I was out of commission.
Yeah, you were not.
I remember having a little too much to drink.
And I remember doing photos of the wedding party. And I had decided to wear a button-up shirt with a tie because I was like, okay,
if the shirt expands.
If the shirt expands with the milk, I'm covered. Oh,
I don't think I've seen you wear a tie since, actually.
No.
So I wonder if we have a photo of that.
You were bursting. I doing the wedding party photos, I had to hold my camera out like this.
Oh my gosh, I do.
Because they were gigantic.
And rock solid.
And milk stains. And my buttons were hanging on
For dear life.
like this. And you could see the buttons, like the shirt was, like the tie it wasn't covering much. And I was just like, what?
And for context, the wedding she was shooting was my best friend's wedding.
Yes.
So my best friend from childhood, we've been friends since before I can remember, since we were in diapers. I was the best man. Eric was shooting the wedding. So it wasn't like a client.
Yeah.
They hired you, but it was like.
But like it was.
They knew it was your first wedding. It was a deal, this whole thing.
And I was having a baby.
And they had a baby. So everyone was cool with this. This wasn't like some client hired you. Right?
No,
Okay.
I would never do that ever. I would never suggest it.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I learned a massive lesson.
Yeah.
And I never took on a wedding. I always waited at least
2 to
3 months
Yeah, something
before
like that. Yeah.
taking on a wedding ever again after having a baby.
Yeah. So funny to think back on those times. Yeah. And so we fast forward 09, I do all my coaches training.
Yep.
I quit the post office. And then we start to go broke.
Yay.
Yeah.
And I'm still taking clients. I probably at that point I would have like 3 to 4.
Yeah, your business is
Like
building.
It's just, and I never did advertise. Well, no, that's not true. I advertised with Vancouver Mom because I was one of their.
I think you wanted to make like $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month because the reason I remember you leaving the school district, and by the time we paid for childcare,
Yeah.
we did all the math, and we're like, well, if I could just make this much
Like an extra $2,000
from
a month.
photography a month, then I get to stay home with the kids. It's like,
Yeah.
that's better than paying for childcare.
Oh, and I was like, and I get to be creative. I get to go out and interact with other adults.
Right.
And can have fun. And because I really found it, I loved interacting with people. I loved hearing their stories, like where they were coming from, like what brought them here to this point in their lives. And I also loved kids. And I did a lot of family sessions. And so I loved talking to kids and just listening to them and getting them away from their parents and letting them go kind of crazy was really great.
So thinking back on that first wedding or those first, like the first year out of the school district, you're busier, you're shooting more. What do you think of your style back then when you look at your old photos?
Oh, wow.
Wow, amazing, or wow, like eek?
When I first was starting, I had I can't remember the name of the book, and I had my Photoshop book, and
It was Photoshop for Dummies, wasn't it?
No. Was it?
No.
Scott Kelby, was it?
Yep.
And I
sounds
had my
familiar.
big book, and I sat and taught myself everything on I remember how to do
And this
the
is
blur.
before YouTube too, right? Like YouTube wasn't that big of a thing. I think YouTube was
If it
maybe
was,
2010.
I
You didn't know
use
about it.
I didn't use it. And so I taught myself Photoshop.
I remember you
that way.
with that book.
Oh man, I would just where is
And it was Photoshop, not Lightroom.
No, there was no Lightroom. Or if there was, again, I didn't.
You didn't know about it.
I don't remember when Lightroom came out. I remember you were the one that told me I needed to get Lightroom. But that's fast tracking.
Yeah.
Quite a few years.
So what do you think of your style then? You said, oh, wow.
At first I thought it was good. I liked my coloring and everything. Right. And then I remember getting into Photoshop actions, and I entered a photography contest, and I won a big, huge backdrop of my choice. I won a bunch of actions, Photoshop actions, and I started dabbling with them, and totally changed my style. And going back on those, I'm quite embarrassed at the coloring of them, like the saturation and it's like. I always want to find those photos and redo them for those clients and be like, why did they pay me?
Why did they pay me
for these photos?
Was anyone ever unhappy though?
No, people loved them.
Yeah, it's so funny, hey?
I remember my blues would be like, like vibrant.
There's some
like,
in the camera roll on my
whoa.
iPhone that I see. I'm like, whoa, what is
When
this?
they pop up and I've got my like logo attached, the
Yeah.
watermark, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh gosh.
Yeah, watermarking your photos too. That was like a real thing too. Like, oh, I'm gonna put my watermark on my pictures.
Even my like our pictures that we took while traveling, watermark those pictures. Like, do you remember our Europe photos? Like the colors.
Yeah, I
that
remember.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun time.
Well, you're here now. Okay.
And I learned from it.
And you learned.
I had a season.
And so beginning stages, we go broke.
Yeah.
I quit the post office.
Yep. I don't go back to the school.
You don't go back to the school district. Now we're young parents, one kid at home, one on the way.
Yeah.
And we don't have enough money to pay the mortgage, do anything.
We ate a lot of noodles. Like, we didn't have a lot of money for food. Yeah. We had to take our car off the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And we were a one-car family. Like, and then we had 0 cars.
Man, that was a wild time.
Yeah.
Do you remember being any less happy? Sometimes
No.
I think about that.
No, I know because I vividly remember talking about how, like, we should be really unhappy right now. And we're not.
We should be really
unhappy. Well, like, it didn't make sense why we were doing so well. Like, and our relationship was flourishing.
Yeah.
Like, we were really rock solid. It didn't tear us apart. It actually brought us closer together.
Why do you think that is?
I think in one sense, like, we really believed in each other and we really believed in us.
I don't think my belief was at that stage was not very high in myself.
Okay, but then maybe you really believed in me, and I
think you believed in me.
I really believed in you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just felt like it was going to be a season, and it was okay, and that it didn't define us. Yeah. I don't know.
Sometimes I think back on those times, or I'll read through my journal, and even though they were hard, like, I don't regret them. You know, like it definitely, like, not being able to pay the mortgage, you know, being in debt, taking the car off the road. I remember that one month we couldn't pay the insurance. We took the car off the road. I was biking. So I decide I'm not making any money coaching.
No.
And I'm like, well, that was a waste of time. I need to get a job. I was like, kind of hung it up. And, you know, I think that's one of the things with coaching, for me at least. I did all this amazing coaches training. I did my master practitioner in NLP.
And you did it at the school that, like, Tony Robbins studied at, like,
learn from the
masters,
best. Yeah. And then I did CTI, Coaches Training Institute. I did their certification program. I did their leadership program. I did all the training. And I think it was a great coach, but I didn't believe, like, because I was coaching people on how to, like, you know, get their lives together, and I felt like my life was in shambles, I couldn't do it. Like, there was just something in me authentically. I was like, I just felt like a fraud. I just felt like a complete fraud because I was like, how am I going to coach these people on getting their lives together when my life is such a mess?
Although life wasn't a full mess, like, relationally, like, a mess financially.
Yes.
But I think...
And physically, I think my physical health was not
Right.
great.
Okay.
I think that was probably the biggest I ever was, like, overweight and young dad. Just a lot of inner demons. A lot of
you
demons.
did.
Yeah. Going on.
For sure.
Anyway, I hung it up. I was like, that's it. Coaching's not for me. Invested all this time and money. I was like, I can't do this. Yeah. And that season, so that would have been 09-ish, probably during 09 and 010. No, it was after Vanna was born, 2010. I did so many odd jobs. Like, I was like building fences and decks for friends.
Yep.
I did some gym sales. Remember, I worked in Gold's Gym trying to do gym sales. I got a job. I got hired doing, like, selling cell phones. That didn't last. I didn't start the job because then I got the job at the bank.
That's right.
And so I was looking for work where I could just pick up a paycheck, go to work every day, and somewhere where I could climb the corporate ladder, so to speak, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so only high school education, plus I had my certification programs through coaching, but no university degrees. So, my options were limited, and I didn't really have any life experience. Like I was a letter carrier, like I delivered mail, right? So I didn't really have any job experience. So I got a job as a teller at HSBC Bank in January of 2010. But that was kind of when things started to turn around. And there was an element of that where I just knew if I went to work, we collected a paycheck, I took all of our retirement savings from when I worked at the post office. We got clear on the mortgage.
Yep.
We kept the house.
Yep.
And then you were doing photography and I was making very little. I think I was making like less than $2,000 a month at the bank.
Oh, for sure. Because I don't think we ever cleared $3,000 a month.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
it was always under. Yeah.
And so family of two, maybe
family of
four, sorry, making $30,000 a year in Vancouver. We were so fortunate. We were underwater on our home.
Yes.
Because we purchased our home in 2007.
Yep.
And then the crash in 2008. So then our house was worth less than our mortgage was. So we couldn't sell the house.
Substantially less.
Yeah, it was like $65,000 or $80,000 less than we bought it for. So we couldn't sell the house. And then I got to ride my bike to work.
Yep.
Because it was close enough.
Yep.
And I just went to work.
Yep.
And that was it. And then it was during that time that you and I started coaching some couples.
Yep.
And so, and that just started, people would just ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we also found that there was quite a few people starting to just really, I guess, like butt heads a bit in their marriage. And they were
they'd been married 5 years or more.
Yeah.
Young kids like we had.
Yeah.
And that's a challenging time.
Yeah.
As a young parent, when you have young kids and you have a career that you're trying to figure out and get going. Mm-hmm. And now you're in kind of the throes of marriage, like all the newness is worn off and you're in life and you're sleep deprived and you're trying to figure it out. And so we ended up, people would just come over and sit on the couches and we would, you'd kind of pair your NLP with your psychology degrry and I would use some of my coaching skills and we were just coaching people on the couch at our house.
Very authentically.
Yeah. It was interesting, having all the coaching skills and as powerful as that was, I think when we were doing that coaching, like I felt like it maybe had a little more skin in the game because I was like, oh, like we've been through some shit.
Yeah.
We've kept our relationship strong and healthy despite, going broke and career struggles and having young kids. Like you and I during that season, like we were good. Like we had a good, solid relationship. And I think people could see that. And, people just ask us advice or like, hey, can we come chat with you guys?
Yeah.
And so we started coaching some different people that we knew. And then we got a couple referrals. And so we started doing, and how old were we at the time? That would have been 27, 28?
I had been when we were 27. When I was 27, you were 28. So I turned,
Yeah, so
I would have been
we were 27, 28 years old, married 6 years, 5 years, 6 years. Married 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
2010, 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Starting a business.
And we're coaching people.
Yeah.
And I'm working at the bank as a teller,
Yeah.
4 or 5 days a week. You're shooting photography and we're just going through the motions of life.
Yeah.
And so I was very grateful for my job at the bank. And I got promoted, actually. I got promoted after like 3 months to premier banking at HSBC. I was studying for my mutual funds test.
Right.
And they were going to get me to start selling mutual funds. And then we had a friend at the time,
Yep.
a friend of ours named Darian, who was a wedding officiant.
Yes.
So he married people.
Yep.
And they lived in the same complex as us.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Darian
I forgot that.
lived in the same complex as us. And he was over for dinner one night and we were chatting and we were talking about doing the coaching. And he's like, do you guys want to do a wedding show? And we're like, a wedding show? He's like, yeah, like you got something going with this coaching business. Like, do you want to turn it into a business? And do you want to do a wedding show?
Yeah.
And so we're like, sure,
Okay.
let's do a wedding show. And he paid for it.
Yeah, that's right.
He paid for the show and he said, well, why don't we team up your coaching and my officiating?
Yeah.
And he didn't want to run the business at all.
No.
But he was very gracious in helping us get it started and get the website and get the domain and get everything moving.
Well, you came up with the name.
And I came up with the name Young, Hip, and Married because there was a business coach at the time that I was following. Her name was Marie Forleo. She was out of New York City, and she had a business conference for women called Rich, Happy, and Hot. Was her business name, which is a great name.
It is
for a business for a coaching seminar for women. It was called Rich, Happy, and Hot. And so then I was like, well, we should call our company Young, Hip, and Married. And so we came up with the name.
Yep.
And then it was September of 2010.
Yep.
I'm working at the bank. You're doing photos.
Yep.
And we start Young, Hip, and Married.
Yep.
Yep.
And
On a shoestring.
Yeah, you came up with the logo, like it was like the name came, logo came like right away. We got matches.
Yeah, we got matches.
We didn't have business cards.
No, we got matches.
Just matches, and we went to that wedding show, and then you got assigned.
And do you remember what we put inside the matches? It seems so cringy now.
Light your marriage on fire. Was that
Yeah,
what it?
set your marriage
marriage
on fire or something like that.
In a good way, though. Don't set it on
It could
fire.
be taken. It could be taken. It's a dumpster fire. Oh my gosh!
Throw it out.
It's so. I thought it was such a great idea at the
Tagline.
time. And people love the matches. People like, oh, matches, a matchbook. People
You're right.
love.
They did love
the matches. And we had a big sign that we brought to the show.
Not just big, like massive.
4x8. Again, we didn't have a lot of money. I got a 4x8 piece of plywood, wooden plywood. And we said on it, like, how much are you spending on your wedding? How much are you spending on your marriage?
Young, hip, and married. Huge. Like
Big sign.
And we show up to
the show, and we have like this tiny little,
this is like
tiny
the size
little
of our
booth.
table.
Like, we had no idea what we were doing, and there's nowhere to put the sign. And it was
at the Brock House.
It was at the Brock House, which didn't even know what the Brock House was, which is a wedding venue.
Never
in
been there
Vancouver.
before, and we just had our linen tablecloth with matches.
Oh my gosh. It seems so funny at the time now that we talk about it. I haven't,
Going to wedding shows like now.
yeah, you all prepared digital signs and all the stuff. And so we did that show, and there was somebody there. I don't even remember what magazine it was. We got interviewed and we got our photo taken. We got interviewed and we got our photo taken for a magazine about the company. Someone was interested in the company.
Yeah.
Because we got to get to that the following year. We'll talk about what happened. There's a thing with the photo in the magazine.
Well, it wasn't a photo from that day.
No, it wasn't a photo from that day.
No.
But they interviewed us in a magazine. And that's how Young Hip and Married started.
Yeah.
And then
And we actually got a couple clients off
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
And we got premarital coaching clients as well.
I don't
You and I.
remember, but I don't remember who we.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
I don't remember
but-
either. But we started the business. So Young Hip and Married started officiating and marriage coaching.
Yeah. One officiant, you and me.
Yeah. And we kind of ran the business that fall on a shoestring.
did all the
writing
admin.
blogs. People would email in. You'd get them hooked up with an officiant, and pretty soon we had more requests for weddings that Darian didn't want to do, and so we brought on another officiant, and then another officiant, and another officiant, and
I think we had like 5 officiants
within a few months.
Yeah.
And then Young and Married started to take off. And then it wasn't until so that fall also,
Yes.
as a way to supplement our income, I got a job serving tables. Once we started Young and Be Married, I was like, oh, this could be something that I could get into, doing the coaching side of things. And so I took a job working at the Keg.
When I was pregnant with Onyx.
No, I got that job September of 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, we remember. Okay.
No, because I was pregnant with Onyx and we did the Warrior Dash. And we had to come back early from Whistler because you got the interview with the Keg.
And you were pregnant.
And I was pregnant with Onyx. So that was 2011.
Never argue with a pregnancy. Those are good time markers, though, right? For you, because you will remember being pregnant.
I was like 6 weeks pregnant doing the Warrior Dash. Yeah. And then, we were like, we can't spend the night. Like, we have to go home.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we kept going. Oh, so maybe I didn't get the job at the bank until 2011. Because I was definitely at the bank and at the Keg.
You're right. You were at the exact same time.
At the same time.
Because you were working, you would go to the bank from like 8 to
4 or 3:30, and then I'd go to the Keg.
Yeah, straight to the
Keg.
Keg.
So I was working, like 10-hour days.
Yeah.
So no, then I got the job at the bank in January of 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I quit the bank that fall when I got the job at the Keg.
Yes.
So then I was moonlighting at the Keg, running Young and Be Married during the daytime.
Yeah.
And then we made a go of it. We're like, okay, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. And then I got my officiant's license in 2011 as well.
I don't remember what year it was,
I
but
believe it was 2011.
I'll go with you on that one.
So then I was started to do weddings, officiating weddings, and running Young and Be Married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had another baby on the way.
And we had another baby on the way.
So we had
2 kids, 2 and under.
Yep.
And a baby on the way.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Depending on the months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember those times?
Oh, yes, I do.
So
I remember
I had the Keg, running Young and Be Married. You were doing admin for Young and Be Married and photography.
Yeah.
And we had a toddler and a baby.
Yeah.
And another baby coming.
Yeah. I would be full on nursing, answering emails.
Yeah.
There was no voice texting, none of that. Was I even texting at that point in time?
You would have probably had an iPhone by then, maybe.
Maybe. Did I switch from my BlackBerry at that time?
Yeah.
But oh my word, it would be full nursing, typing out, trying to get things done. It was wild. And because you were working so much, it was just...
Yeah, I was working a lot.
You worked a lot, yeah. But we were also this is our time. We made a very mutual decision to, this is a season, and right now this season
it's the hustle
looks
season.
This is a hustle.
But has the hustle season stopped?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're way
15
more...
years later?
We're way more... We have gotten so much better at carving out our time and saying no and
you have to.
And we book our lives, but back then we weren't booking our lives a year in advance.
Well, we weren't booking that many weddings.
And no, it's not like it is now. Now we look a year and a half.
Well, we take the same holidays every year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Same timings every year. We book it off. Yeah.
But we really look at our schedule a year and a half in advance, and then be like, how do we do this? Okay, we're booking Sundays off. We're doing this. So
what do you say to, the young family, the young photographer who's a mom, she's got young kids, she wants to leave her job and be photography. What advice do you give, even to your younger self, as you're in that season?
My younger self... Well, taking photography, I would say I wish my younger self took more time for herself, first and foremost, to get out my thoughts, my feelings. Because I just kind of would go, well, I'm not the best planner. I'm not very good at planning or being organized.
You have that on camera? You were hesitant to admit it.
I know. And I'm like waiting for you to be like, yeah, okay, what are you going to say, Erica? So I'm not the most organized. And so I would, back then, like my days could just like sweep me
Right, away.
And so,
more time for yourself,
to really get to know myself.
To process.
Right. Because you change. When you
when you
become
become
a
a
mom, and going from like, I am a very social person, and, you know, work, like for me, like was super social and I loved it. And it was structured.
Right.
And then going to like, all of a sudden, you know, I take 2 weeks off early to have a baby, then have a baby. And then it's like summer and like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I loved that time. Like I loved it. But I think I lost a bit of myself, or just didn't. All of a sudden now I'm in charge of another little human being.
Or four.
Yeah. And I think I just would push some of my loves and dreams and desires like up to the side, because now I have people to look after and they take up a lot of my time, because I wanted to be a very invested mom. And I think you can only go so long without checking in on yourself before all of a sudden you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
How long did you go?
I think I went a really long time.
You went pretty long.
Like 10 years? No.
It was really COVID. The COVID was... COVID
2019.
COVID, yeah, you kind of started pre-COVID.
I did Christy Mann's course, I can't remember. Anyways.
But that was kind of like the can opener that started opening it up.
Yeah.
Like approaching 40.
You'd have been
38.
30, 37.
37, 38, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Approaching 40 definitely felt
Seeing 40 on the horizon was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt the transition. I felt the change coming. And also, our kids were getting so much older.
Yeah. When you go from that stage of like, I remember getting out of diapers when Wella was out of diapers. That was 2016.
Yeah.
That was like, what?
Yeah, because we had, so for people that don't know, we had 4 kids in 6 years.
Yeah. 4 kids in 6 years while starting 2 businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And had a miscarriage in there as well. So yeah, 6 years, 4 kids, and a miscarriage.
It was crazy. And 1 car.
And one
We
vehicle.
could only afford 1 vehicle.
Yeah.
And so...
But even the thought, like I think you brought up getting a second vehicle a couple of times, and I was like, no, because I just walked everywhere with the kids. Did have to drive to preschool. Do you remember how much brain space and power it took to like figure out who was going where?
Yeah, and there were days when I would rent a car, or I'd take a go car or whatever they had at the time.
Well, but
car to go,
or we'd take the bus from
into the city.
Into the city, and then we had the car to go and
Evo.
We had all the
things,
all the memberships to get cars, because you could never count on there just being that car where you needed it to be. So we needed all the car memberships so we could guarantee at least one of them would have a car in the area.
Man.
So yeah, I would say that taking time to get to know yourself, because you're a different person.
Yeah, so practically, like, what does that look like?
Well, for me, I think journaling was huge, and really taking the time out to process. Like that for me I can write my thoughts out so easily.
Right.
But at first I was never a journal. I did, diary when I was a kid. But then I never did it. But that was something that you always did. And
I've kept a journal since I was 15.
Yeah. And
I have breaks in some of my journaling early on where I didn't write for a few months, but I think I have like 32 or 33 journals that are full.
So many. It's awesome. It's great.
I keep thinking that I want to transcribe them all into AI and get them to tell me about my life.
Oh, whoa.
I know, wouldn't that be a trip?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
That would be wild.
Yeah. That's another podcast. So taking time for yourself is what you would say.
I would say, because, and also, running for me is a huge emotional, I love running. And I have, I've trained for marathons and I've done marathons and everything, but for me, even just going out for a run, I can process my emotions and what I'm feeling so perfectly. And you were so good at that too. Like when you would come home from work, you'd be like, Erica, get your stuff on, go for a run. You just knew I needed like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to just, otherwise I would have, if you hadn't pushed me, I would have just stayed in because I wanted to be with you and I wanted to check in on you and how you were doing. And I wanted to be with our family so much, but I didn't put myself, I didn't
so hard to do though at that age too, because everybody wants a piece of you.
Yeah. And I did not, like you would encourage me to get up in the morning because that was the only peaceful time. But for me, I was like, nope, sleep.
Yeah, I fell in love with the mornings in those early stages. I would work late at the keg. And then that's when I listened to that TED Talk. I think it was called 21 Early Days. It was all about getting up at 4:30 in the morning. And I did it for 21 days. I was like, oh, this is why people get up early. And I still get up at like 5
you still get up really early.
Like even yesterday on Sunday, I'm up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the day though, because no one's around, it's quiet.
Yeah. Well, and when the kids were little, they would get up at like
Dude, our kids,
6:37,
and they didn't come into the room and wake you up.
No.
Kids also were like, sweet, mom's sleeping. Like they would be downstairs playing. And
well, yeah, they were allowed to get up at a certain time.
Yeah, they were allowed to get out of bed at 7.
Yeah,
I think.
And then Zion would like turn on the TV and put on cartoons at the certain volume, and
get a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, and then help.
Yeah, so it's like once the kids get to that stage where there's no diaper, they're potty trained is a huge one. That's a big milestone. And then once they dress themselves.
Yeah, it's not just getting out of diapers. Once you get out of diapers, then it's the potty training.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah. But once that's done, they're dressing themselves. And then because we had older siblings, they could help with food and feeding meals like breakfast and cereal and that sort of stuff. Like then your life really starts to change differently.
100%. And then once they're all in school, then you're like,
what now?
Now, who am I? What am I doing?
Right.
I remember walking our kids to school, and like that first week of all of them being in school, like I cried.
Yeah, I remember.
I would come home and I would just sob because the house just felt so quiet and empty, and now what do I do?
Yeah, edit some photos, I guess.
Go edit photos, yeah. And then a lot of my friends at that time were going, because a lot of my friends had kids around the same, we all had kids around the same age. They're all going back to work now.
Right.
So my people that I would hang out with are now not available during the day.
Right.
And so it's just me. And now what do I do other than, so it's like so many stages. You're like redefining and like having a look at your life and what you want to do and what you want to pursue and like how your dreams can change. But I think when the kids were really young, like that was my dream, to have 4 kids.
Right.
Like have 4 kids, be a stay-at-home mom, get to do work that I love.
When they're at school.
Yeah. And even when they were home, like having that creative time. But then it changed. Like when you were in it with young kids, like it feels like forever. Like the idea of all of them being in school felt like a lifetime away. It felt like it was never going to happen. You're like, when people are like, oh, in 5 years, like they'll be at school. And you're like, 5 years is forever.
Right.
Like every day feels like a really long day.
Right.
But then when it comes, and then, I was like, do I need another I think I need another baby.
I remember that. Like, we took care of that medically. I took one for the team.
Because I felt lost. I'm like, what do I do now without someone at home?
So the advice you'd give to your younger self would be take more time.
Carve out even
More
More
inner time.
inner time.
You're not talking like more time out with friends and more activities. You're more
inner
reflection
and like getting to know yourself in this stage. Like, who are you right now?
Right.
And also, who do you want to be? And what are you struggling with? And I think so many times, I think people are scared to say what they're struggling with. But also voicing.
Why do you think that is?
Well, you judge yourself. And so when you're already struggling and then you start judging that struggle, and then you might feel guilt and shame. And I think you just don't want to let people know. Or a lot of times you feel like you're the only person. Like, I remember when we were coaching and people would talk about things that they were going through in their marriage. And you and I'd be like, oh, we were just fighting about that before you guys came.
I remember there was one couple that came and we were like, they're coming in like 30 minutes. And we were having like a full on argument. And we're like, oh, we gotta,
like, we have to get over this right now.
We have to sort this out. Right? And like, they're getting here in 30 minutes. We're supposed to be helping them.
But then being honest with them, and they were like, what? We're not the only people that are struggling with this? You're like, oh my gosh, no. This is, So I think sometimes people have a hard time letting others in on the things that they're struggling with.
Often I think the lives that we portray, right, are like, they're the Instagram version of life.
Yeah.
Right? But again, you don't want to blast on social media. Like, not that sort of thing. But I think having more honest conversations with the people you know and trust.
Yeah. And to let them know what you're going through. I am a talker, and I process in my journal, but I also process out loud. And sometimes saying something makes it so much more real. Like, it is like a connection piece where you like connect the dots. And it's like, say that again. I am struggling with it, or I feel this way, or whatever it is.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely my journal. Right? It's like, I heard a podcast the other day, I was talking about like writing it out does something. It like takes it from some part of your brain and brings it to the forefront of your brain where it's like you can actually process it. If not, it's like ruminating somewhere.
Right.
Right. So for me, my journaling is a lot about the things I'm ruminating on, like bringing them out, formulating a thought. Like, it's not voice recording, right? For me, there's an element of like having the thought, thinking about what I want to say, and then writing it on a piece of paper. Like, it was like taking my thought into my hand, and the ink and the paper, and writing it down, and like having it there, and then reading it again. Like, there's something in that connection process for me that is really helpful with just processing what's going on. Like, what am I struggling with, or what's a solution? Often I'll ask myself advice like, well, like, why do you think you're doing that? I'll like talk back to myself, right? I'm like, oh, well, why do I think I'm doing that? Okay, then I'll write the answer. I'm like, oh, that's, then I'll write again. Oh, that's an interesting answer. Like, where did that come from? Right? I'll ask myself these potent thoughts, and it definitely helps to process.
Yeah.
So more time for yourself.
Yeah.
What about practical business advice? You've been 20 years is a long time.
Yeah.
To be, photographer. The business side of things, someone wants to go into this full time or wants to quit their job. What type of advice do you give to someone along those lines? So, one, like more time for yourself. This is for the mom with young kids trying to figure out what you want.
Yeah. I would definitely say find a photographer that you love and reach out to them and pick their brain, or like take them out for coffee.
You ready to get a lot of people asking you for coffee?
you know what? I used to do this. I remember I had a full, I would give it out to photographers for free. And they would meet me for coffee and I would show them, this is how to register your business. Go here, do this,
When
do
did
this.
you do this? I don't even remember this.
Yeah, just through like Facebook Messenger.
Really?
Yeah, and I would just meet up with photographers. This was like 10 years ago-ish. So I guess I was doing mentoring, but just because people would ask.
Just friendship?
Just people would just ask me and I was like, I'll tell you what I did. This is what I did. I'm not saying what I did was that I knew exactly what I was doing. This was trial and error, but I think it's really helpful to surround yourself with people in the industry that you're trying to get into and getting to know people. And also, I think when you like approaching it as like, teach me what you did, or like, I think it's different when you come in and you're like, hey, I really admire you. Like, I don't know, wanting to know about the photographer, not just help me get here.
Right.
Like you're wanting to like get to know them. Hey, you want a second shoot? Or hey, can I come out and like watch what you do in whatever kind of photographer that they are.
Right.
I think that goes a long way. And some photographers, you know, they don't have the time or the capacity for that. Like there would definitely be, I can say times when I'm like, I can't right now. Like these weddings or elopements or shoots that I have, it just doesn't lend itself to that.
Right.
But then others for sure where, and I don't know, I'm a bit of an open book and I don't feel like I keep things like, I'm not going to share my secrets with you.
Do you feel like that's common in the photography industry? Do you feel like there's more openness or people hold things close to their chests? Do you feel like it's competitive?
I feel like maybe in certain areas, I feel like Vancouver is really beautiful.
The photographers here are awesome.
Yeah.
They're some of my favorite people.
Yeah. And, you know, I wish it's so hard because we don't get to work together.
No, you're working by yourself.
You're working by yourself. So we work with other people in the industry, but you know, the photography world is beautiful in Vancouver.
The wedding industry here in Vancouver.
It is awesome.
Which is a big reason why I wanted to do the podcast here, like with wedding vendors, because again, as an officiant, I see them and it's like, hey, hugs, okay, good to see you, okay,
Yeah,
wedding,
like,
boom,
quick
okay,
check-in.
like, okay, see, I'm out of here, right? And they send me the pictures. It's like, I don't get to hang out very often, but they're some of the best people in this industry.
Yeah, and there's so many different styles and there's so much beauty and there are so many people to go around. Like there are so many different, like the wedding industry, there's just an abundance of clients. And yes, there's times where you're like crickets. We're like, hey, haven't got an inquiry in a while. And you feel a little, oh.
Right.
But then, you know, being in the industry for as long as I have, I know it's always going to pick up. Like it just always has. But I don't know. I think there's enough clients to go around.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think people are very open and very, like the forums that I'm on, people are always sending off referrals and, hey, who's available on this date? I have clients looking for this. Like it is a very, it doesn't feel like people are like, no, these are my clients.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So what is it that draws you to photography? Like, what is it that you love?
I love people.
I'm asking these questions. Like, I know all the answers, right?
Yeah.
But so.
I love people. And okay, if you're specifically talking about weddings and elopements, I love hearing about people's love stories, how they met, like what brought them here. Why the heck do you want to get married? Like in this day and age, like what is it that is exciting you about getting married? And I think, I want to say like 80% of my clients do not like getting their photo taken. Are like, whoa, I
feel like that's your superpower with photography because I get to meet a lot of these couples because we get to work together.
Yeah.
And, there are many couples that are very awkward in front of the camera, right? They're cool, we're chatting and something in the camera, and they're just like, people do not like getting their, but when I see the pictures that you take of these people, I'm like, how did you get this picture?
Aw, thanks, babe.
But I do think that's like your superpower with photography, is your ability to get to people to relax
Right.
and get kind of the essence of who they are and their relationship, right? Yeah, which I think is really cool,
Yeah.
right? Because you wouldn't consider yourself the most technical photographer out there, right?
No. If you want someone to teach you all the perfect settings and lighting, like that is not me.
But I think, Erica, I think this is a really important thing to hone in on, because I think the temptation can often be when you're getting started in anything is like, how do I learn to become the absolute best?
Right.
And you'll focus on like your setting, your Lightroom, like all the techno, what type of best gear and lighting and editing styles and like what, I don't even know anything about photography, white balance, whatever the settings might be.
Yeah.
But photography, from my perspective, who's someone who gets their picture taken a lot and has met probably over 1,000 photographers, it's so much. I watch some of these photographers who might be amazing technically, but they're not warm necessarily, or friendly, or engaging. And I find when I watch couples with you and I watch you bring them out, I'm always like, wow, like, you know, they start to feel comfortable and then you get these incredible pictures. But I think it's an important thing to talk about, because I think people could get hung up on the technical aspect, but forget the human element.
Right. And I'm very much more human element. And then just, I guess my settings and everything is like instinctual of like how I.
Well, and you also have a lot of experience.
I have a lot of experience.
And you've learned it over the years. Like when we're talking about your older editing style, like you have improved so much technically as a photographer.
I don't have to stop.
But that's not your strength.
No, that would not be my strength.
Right.
My strength would be definitely how I interact with people and how I want them to focus on their love.
Right.
That's why we are here.
Right.
We're here. It's all about them. And I don't want like people that, you know, it always starts off like, okay, like, where do you want me to look? Like, and it's all like, I'm like, okay, breathe,
relax,
movement. And so much, you know, you and I do the exact same thing. Like when you are up there with the couple, you get them to take a deep breath. And like when you're giving them their little coaching session beforehand, it's like, okay, take a deep breath.
Relax, take it easy,
Jiggle
shake
out,
it
shake it.
Yeah.
You know, same sort of thing. As soon as the wedding's over and when starting to get into those photos, it's the same thing. People can like tighten up. You could just see the shoulders start going up.
Yeah.
The bouquet comes up to here.
The bouquet
like,
rise.
You're like as soon as you as a photographer, as soon as you start seeing this happen with the bride or with the groom or whomever,
the bridesmaids, whatever, the bouquets always make their way up here.
As soon as this starts happening, or anybody, like, you know, whoever's standing at the front, like, you're just like, take a deep breath, get them, just shake it out, because everything tenses, everything goes rigid. And so learning how to spot that and like help people, whether you say a joke, whether you be like, stop everything, okay, couple, you guys just look at each other. Do you need a hug? What do you need right now? Like hold hands, get in there, like give them a great big hug, breathe, take a huge deep breath together, let it out. And then you see
the energy
like
shifts.
The energy shifts. And taking, I try to not just like, I always tell people like, I'm going to get big, beautiful, like there's going to be beautiful photos, but my favorite photos are the ones where
that you don't know they're taking.
They have no idea. It's where they whisper something into each other's ear, or they laugh about, you know, an inside joke or something. And it's like, I want them to remember what was said in their ear in that moment, and that the photo brings them right back to that moment. Whether it's playing air guitar, whether it's like doing something that they love to do together, and thinking about that, thinking about when they first met, like what's their favorite thing about their person that they're now with, and like, or even celebrating, like sometimes walking away from the wedding, like, because it can be sometimes, you know, you can be on a timeline. It's like, okay, here, now we've got family photos, now we have this. well, when's the time where you get to just stop and celebrate your marriage? Like,
Right.
This is not just your wedding. Like this, you two have now, you're married.
Yeah.
All the planning, everything that's brought you to here, like you're finally here. And let's take it in for a minute. And you two you celebrate however you want, whether that's crying, whether that's doing a little happy dance, whether it's just hugging and having a moment, or like turning around and like screaming.
Right.
Sometimes I find energetically like a scream, or like,
yeah, get it out.
like just get it out, because it's almost like, I don't know, it helps so much. Get the energy moving through the body.
We're going to need to do a part 2.
Okay.
We didn't even scratching the surface bit.
This is what happens when you wait 20 years to start a podcast, or 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years of things to talk about. There's so many we didn't talk about. Like, I'd love to talk a little more about just your business and your ideal clients that you work with and the type of photos you take, but about young and married, like you transitioning out and building that business and growing the officiating company, and, how you do that with young kids and families, and both being entrepreneurs, like no benefits.
Yeah, none of that. Oh, every time they're always like, oh, well, we can just put it on your medical. I'm like, don't have any.
It's called the savings account. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably it for today.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I love you.
I love you too.
That was great.
You're awesome.
All right. See you next time.
Thanks so much for listening to the Friendors podcast, the podcast by wedding vendors for wedding vendors. I'm your host, Shawn Miller, signing off. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean the world to us if you would follow, subscribe, and perhaps share it with a fellow wedding vendor who could use some inspiration or simply a good laugh. Want the Friendors podcast to come to your city? Drop us a comment below and let us know. Until next time, keep learning and keep creating amazing weddings that feel better than they look. See you in the next one.